Welcome to another episode of What the Fuck Do You Do? I'm your co-host Shrey Panda.
And I'm your co-host, Travis Fox.
And today we're going to do a special episode. We're going to do a recap episode of Season 1, go over some of our highs and lows, and kind of give you a brief intro of what we're going to be doing this season.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we're still friends after this, to be honest.
Yeah, well, we actually have one new addition to the team. We've got Justin. He's our producer, and he's going to be moderating the questions.
What's up?
Yeah. Justin, why don't you say a little bit about yourself?
I'm super producer, Duong. I don't know why you're looking at me like that. But yeah, I'm here to make these guys look good, make sure we keep the show moving, and get some format this year. But excited to be here, guys.
All right. Well, let's get into it.
Right
what
on.
we got, Justin?
So yeah, today we just have a list of different questions about Season 1, seeing what's new. I think for starters, what a lot of listeners have been asking is, like, how did you guys come up with the show? And, like, give us some context behind, like, what was it like to try to get this thing off the ground?
Yeah, I think we were like eating tacos in like 2020.
We were at Torchy's in Austin.
we were at Torchy's in Austin, and I think we were talking about like what do people actually do in their like day-to-day jobs, and it'd be cool to like try to understand that or put a show together. And then I feel like you were like, that's a good idea. We should do that.
Well, to be fair, I feel like there are always a lot of really fun ideas. That was the first one that actually felt like approachable, like we could actually do it.
Yeah.
And we have all these friends, like we're in our late 20s. We have friends that are finishing like med school and law school, and they're going into these positions that you grew up knowing about. And then I'm like, I have no fucking idea what my friends actually do on a day-to-day basis. So it felt like a good thing to do. And plus it was the pandemic. We were pretty bored. There wasn't a lot of things like going on for my creative outlets. So we actually tried to make the show work over Zoom. So you were living in Austin. I was in New York. We had a good little long distance relationship there. Kept each other up at night talking.
We did, yeah. Yeah. And we didn't know anything about making a podcast. So it was a lot of Googling and trial and error and figuring out like how do you edit stuff and how do you like make this all work, and we're still trying to learn that now, but
yeah, definitely a new appreciation for listicles, like 23 things you must do to start a podcast. really thrived on those. But it was fun. I feel like we learned some like new technical skills, like figuring out editing, figuring out publishing. It was fun just like putting weird memes together on Instagram, celebrating the show, like, and it was just a good time like to spend quality time with a good friend.
Yeah.
Even though it was over Zoom.
and we had some good guests. So.
We did. The guests were pretty great. Yeah.
Shrey, anything to add there?
The guests were solid.
The guests sucked. I hate them all.
I mean, with that said, like, you had a lot of episodes, right? I think we did 6 last year. Like, what was your favorite?
I think my favorite was the chef, just because that's like a profession that, I mean, you know, like what a chef does, but you don't really know like what the world is being a chef.
Yeah.
And so like hearing Tony talk about what it's like to get in there, and it's super high stress, and just how kind of like ridiculously like high pace it is. I thought that was like the coolest one.
Yeah, I mean that was a hilarious episode too. It was a lot of fun. I never thought I'd like have fun listening about blanching peas and things like that.
Yeah, but
it was pretty cool. I think for me, the most like out of my normal realm of things I talk about or like have any knowledge of was Serafina with astrophysics. Like it's something that seems like only a select few people can qualify for and do, but she broke it down like so well and so approachably. And she's like moving around massive telescopes and like big space centers, and like she's gonna go be an astronaut one day. So that was a like aspirational episode for me.
Yeah, well, super accomplished for an astrophysicist. Also,
Yeah, bit of a badass, I would say. Yeah,
maybe,
our guests are.
Maybe rethink my career.
I was like, what am I doing with my life?
Another question: what's the most shocking thing you heard in season 1?
There was a lot of poop in the nurse episode. Me as I think being a nurse is like, it's such a good thing for society, and it's also something that I would be really grossed out by doing. A lot of bodily fluids, a lot of dealing with people who can't control themselves, I guess, is kind of what Mia was talking about. So I think the shocking part was just like how much literal shit that nurses have to deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah, I feel like they see it all.
Yeah.
So they have so they're probably way comfortable like being around for us what we think is uncomfortable.
Right.
And they're just like, nah, I've seen worse.
Yeah, what about you, Shrey?
I think the most shocking thing. So I have like kind of two. I think one, I go back to the chef, just like how tough it is and how little guarantee there is for this upward trajectory
Right.
in the career. Because usually with a lot of other professions, it's like you pay your dues and like the more time you spend at it, like you will like realize it. But it was such a honestly just brutally ruthless like place to work. It deterred me from ever wanting to be a chef.
So that was the one that you're like, I'd never want to do this profession.
I don't think I could. I think I would cry.
Honestly, yeah, I feel like a pretty fragile person in general. And so somebody yelling at me and like flames are going everywhere, you're burning stuff.
Yeah.
Like customers are unhappy with you. That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, it sounds awful. I also think one of the more shocking things, and it was more because of our guest, was Evan as their teacher.
Yeah.
Just because he has a very like brutally honest way of
True.
talking about what it's like to be a teacher. But I would say those two were the most shocking.
Yeah. Those are good. Those are good. I feel like we did learn something like pretty interesting from every single episode.
I think so too. I think, even like account executive, data scientists, like I think maybe in our day-to-day jobs, we kind of encounter those more, but still like really cool to learn. I mean, I don't actually know what a data scientist does.
I still don't know. I think, okay.
Travis learned nothing from our last season.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. Actually, one more shocking thing is how big of a hardo Diane is as the account executive.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was possible for a human to be that type A.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I think one of the cool, I do remember this from Diane's episode, is like she was saying account executives, the best ones tend to be not super talkative.
Yeah.
They're quieter, they listen more, which is very much against the typical archetype of like a salesperson.
Yeah. I feel like hers was almost the most approachable profession from the ones that we heard, because everything else needs like some training or certification, or like being a chef is like really, really tough to break into. But it was like, oh, okay, if you're a listener, you're a good conversationalist, like you're pretty well organized. It was like, oh, okay, anybody could probably get into this one.
Yeah.
What job from season 1 would you want to do? Clearly, too much poop.
Too much poop for nursing.
Too much pressure as a chef, but what would you guys want to do?
Oh, man, I think, so I've been an account executive, so that's a little unfair for me. I'll cross that one off. Honestly, I think data science would be the one that I'd get interested in. Like, I've always been interested in how you solve those puzzles, like Michael was talking about. It's like you have this big problem, you have this goal as an organization, and you do put all the little pieces together from different data sources and come up with this like novel idea or this recommendation. So I feel like that would be a fun mystery almost, is like figuring out like how to read the data, how to interpret it, make cool visualizations, that kind of stuff. Maybe I'm like romanticizing it, but that one seemed cool to me.
I think I would, from a pure interest standpoint, I think astrophysics would be really, really cool. Because you're just discovering all these mysteries of the universe.
Right.
And Seraphina also makes it look really, really cool. So.
Yeah, dude, she like discovered a star or something.
Yeah,
like,
and she wrote a book. And
that's so badass. I want to discover I want to have a star named after me.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
Yeah. All right. I'd say any of them are fine except chef or nurse.
Yeah, definitely couldn't be a chef. Definitely, I think nurse. I think the initial, if I could get over like everything I see, I think after a while it'd be like normalized.
Yeah, we get used to it.
Yeah.
I feel like getting over everything you see as a nurse is like a big task.
It's not like it's not like easy. Like, oh, I'll totally get over like the trauma and stuff.
I'm past week 1.
Awesome. All right. With that said, like when we look back to think about like under the hood a little bit, like what did we really learn from season 1? Like, are there any examples of like funny stories where we messed up, or where like behind the scenes kind of action?
I think one of the things that was interesting is that like mess ups feel pretty universal no matter how big or small they are in scale. Like
Yeah.
burning a meal that's one of like 50 for the nights is like the same level of like embarrassment or panic for Tony as like Serafina was talking about somebody shoving a giant multi-million-dollar telescope into a wall basically because they fell asleep. It's like, oh, okay. One, like everybody's gonna mess up and like things are generally gonna be okay. You just got to get over it. But there was, I think that's probably the biggest one is that like everybody's going to fuck up in these careers.
Yeah.
And you just got to get over it at some point.
Yeah, it sounds like anybody, right? Like the demand for perfection is unrealistic.
Yeah.
I do think there's a lot of. I think it was really cool to see like people who are excelling at these professions, like talking about like, oh yeah, I did this stupid thing one time,
Right.
or like you can see like the journey of when they started into where they are now. It was like a lot of learning and a lot of trial and error for them. So that was cool.
Right on. And I guess like to you guys in particular, right? Like we talk about how perfection is unattainable with some of the people that you interviewed. For you two, when you were actually making the podcast, like take us through what that was like. Like where did we struggle last year? Like what are we looking to improve going into season 2?
I think, one thing is like we did it pretty like bootstrapped with just like your core Zoom recording options and no microphones except like talking into our laptop screens. So we didn't necessarily have this like polished professional setup. And like, I think that was, it was a learning experience, like figuring out how to make audio level and stuff like that. What were some of yours, Shrey?
I think the technical stuff for sure, like we learning how to edit and what was like the right way for us to edit a podcast. That was definitely, I think we messed up the first time because we didn't really know how to do it. I also think, just thinking back to our very first interview,
Oh man.
I think we realized that preparation is pretty key for each of the
Yes.
interviews. I think we thought we could come in and just say, hey, like, let's have a conversation. But, I think as our jobs as hosts, we realized, like, okay, we should put some thought into, like, the structure and really put our thought into, like, how we can help the guests, like,
Right.
especially if they're more introverted. How can they be comfortable to actually, like, talk about their job?
Yeah, I remember we were both really nervous for that first episode, even though like we've known Michael a long time. It was just like, oh my God, is everything going okay? Like, did I press record?
Yeah, well, and like if we're nervous, then they're gonna be nervous.
Yeah. And that was interesting because like we definitely added more structure, more prep, but I think we also learned not to like over structure and over formalize the whole process because it was way more fun when we were just having fun and having a conversation and like instead of moving from question to question, if something was interesting, we like stayed on that topic for a few more minutes.
Yeah.
So I think over the season, like it got more fun for us personally, and I think we had a better time with the people that we brought on.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely got more fun because I think we put that initial like work to figure out like what was working and not working, and then it sort of laid the foundation for us to just kind of rinse and repeat.
Yeah, and then we had our like intermediary sessions where we would just hang out and edit together, which was a lot of fun. I think we did a good job as a team. We split up the workload pretty well.
We did, yeah.
You're the polish, I'm the raw sauce. But it was a great product at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think people enjoyed it.
My mom was proud.
My mom was not.
Oh God.
No, she was proud.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. She never really explicitly told me.
Bahrain is proud of us.
Bahrain, yeah, we did make it a top 40 Bahrain.
Top 40 Bahrain, yeah.
Shout out Bahrain.
Shout out. Shout out Justin.
I have a follow-up. What is raw sauce?
Oh, I really regret saying that. I don't know. I do. It's from Man's Not Hot, the song.
You want to rap a little bit for us?
2 + 2 is 4. -1, that's 3. Quick maths.
And what was I? The polish?
The polish.
So how did those two even like go together?
I don't know. Like oil and water.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Any other questions for us, Justin?
Yeah, a couple looking forward. Like, obviously, season 1, we learned a lot, had more fun as we did it. as you did it. I didn't do it. Coming into season 2, like what's new about season 2? Talk to us a little bit about how the format of the show is going to change, new careers so that people can be excited about hearing, about learning about. Just give us a rundown of like what we can expect going in.
Well, you're seeing our faces.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun. Yeah, we did the whole first season audio only, Spotify, the Apple Podcast, that kind of thing. But Shrey moved to New York, so that's pretty fun. So now we get to hang out together and record and put it all on video. That's one big change.
Yeah. And we'll be doing all the interviews in person, which I think is a lot better than doing it over Zoom, in my opinion. We got Justin to the team.
Yep.
And we're going to be doing, I think, a few more episodes than we did season 1.
Yeah, hopefully 8 or so, I think, for the season. And a lot of different, really interesting guests. We're going to have video editors, models, actors, computer scientists. It's going to be a pretty badass crew.
Yeah, definitely going to be. I'm really excited.
Yeah. The other fun one, too, is that we've been poking a microphone and a camera on people's faces on the street, trying to get kind of the average take, one, on like, what do people do? Just quick hits of like what their careers are. Do they like them? Do they recommend people getting into it? But also, what are the average person's understanding of the jobs that we're going to be talking about? Because we don't have any clue. They probably don't have any clue.
Yeah.
So we're going to get some pretty interesting street interviews, too.
Yeah. And I think lastly, we're going to be, posting a little bit more content on social media, YouTube. So I think you'll just see a lot more of us.
Yeah, a lot more memes with our faces.
Bahrain, get ready.
Bahrain.
No, that sounds awesome. And again, like we're going to put all this content in a bunch of different formats. I would say for the listeners, like we have a lot of really good ideas, but like let us know if there are particular careers that y'all want Travis and Shrey to go explore, right? I'm sure there's tons of careers out there that sound really cool to people, but people don't know about. Let us know. Put it in the comments, tag us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram.
TikTok.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like and subscribe button. Ring that bell, baby.
Awesome. What else, guys, about season 2? Anything else that we want to hype up? Where do we stand on memes?
Oh, we got some fire memes in the tank. Yeah.
Chief Meme Officer right here.
Yeah, CMO, baby.
That's right. Chief Meme Officer, CMO.
Yeah. Oh, we're looking for advertisers. $1 a shout out. I think is where we're at. Justin says $2.
I feel like you're just negotiating against yourself.
$1.50.
You got to go back and listen to the account executive.
Yeah, this is good.
But yeah, we did buy some cool equipment, so if you want to give us money, that'd be nice. That's pretty much it.
You can Venmo either of us with your donations.
We'll put our cash apps and our handles. Yeah, I think that's it. Just get excited for season 2. Give us some positive affirmations because it's fun to put ourselves out there, and we're just gonna have a great time.